Hi YouTube, Alexander here. Thank you for joining me for another YouTube video. We have something pretty special with us in the studio, but before we get into that, I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed just recently. We're growing phenomenally. Thank you so much. If you haven't already clicked that little red button just underneath the video, you can do that now if you want. It'll help me out a ton. And while you're there, why not leave a like and comment as well? Thanks so much. So, MOZA GS GT. Now, you'll know about MOZA if you're in the sim racing space. They've been making waves over the past few years with their 4 bases, multiple wheels, shifter, handbrake, adapters, you name it. MOZA have been going to town on the products that they're releasing in a very short space of time. So this particular wheel, in UK terms of value, it's £449. Please convert that into freedom units if you must. It's not a cheap wheel, but then compared to Cube and Asher, it kind of is. Compared to Thrustmaster, Logitech, Fanatec, maybe not as much. So where does this really sit? Well, first of all, I'm going to talk about ergonomics. Ergonomics is very important for me. With the smaller diameter wheels, I tend to get neck pain, chest pain, shoulder pain, you name it, pain. With this though, it's a 300mm diameter wheel, which is pretty much full size. I mean, it's not 320, which I've liked, but 300 is about as big as you get for most sim racing systems at the moment. So using this for hour after hour, there's been no pain, complete comfort. I'm very, very impressed. As well as that, the grips themselves, they are microfiber leather. If I bring this a little closer, you can see we have some beautiful perforations on there, and the leather itself is really, really soft and smooth. It feels super premium. Now, I know that a lot of you have tried leather wheels on, say, Logitech or the Thrustmaster systems. This doesn't feel anything like those. It is a proper Italian style leather grip. Now, there is an Alcantara version available, the one I actually ordered, but I got this. I would love to try the Alcantara, and luck would have it, you are able to swap these grips. There are companies out there selling aftermarket parts already, so if you want to customize it, if you want to change grips, you're more than able to do that. So, onto the quality of the thing and the build and the materials used. Well, I'm pretty sure you can already see in the light here that spectacular carbon fiber forged finish. Now, this is proper carbon fiber. If we can see here, and I give it a little twist, you can see there are layers there. They are layers of forged carbon fiber, so they'll pack one layer in, crush it, pack another layer in, crush it on top to form a multi-layer carbon fiber structure there, and it does form the chassis of this wheel. Everything seems to bolt to the carbon fiber plate. Now, as well as that, you do have a little bit of plastic on here, which isn't a problem. It's just purely there to hide things that are attaching the buttons to that carbon fiber plate. And to be fair, the plastic does appear to be really good quality. As well as that, we have some metal features on here. First and foremost, the quick release. As you know, it's an NRG Gen 2 quick release, just branded with the MOZA logo. You can buy them from MOZA, or you can buy the NRG ones. Either one works. I believe some cheap knockoffs do work, but not all of them do, so I'd recommend avoiding that if you could. But that is a proper metal. Same thing I've got on my MX-5. My MX-5 wheel does fit on this, so I can say it's exactly the same. The shifters, again, we have some beautiful forged carbon fiber there as well, and the shifter mechanisms are housed in metal and held with metal as well. So they're not going to get brittle, they're not going to snap. Very impressed with the material choice from MOZA there. Now on to what's actually on this thing, because there's a lot going on. We have 3 buttons across the top on each side, 2 buttons further down. It's for a total of 10 mechanical buttons. Not sure if you'll hear that on camera, but they are fully mechanical. There is a tactile sensation. Very, very nice. We also have these beautifully stopped encoders. They are rotary encoders for your thumb. Some people call them thumb dials, whatever, but also they have buttons. They have buttons in the thumb dials. So as well as that, we have these joysticks. Now, this is where things get a bit odd. For joysticks on a sim racing wheel, these are not D-pads, it's not up, down, left, right. It's a fully articulated circulating motion that you would find on an Xbox or PlayStation controller, but MOZA doesn't have Xbox or PlayStation support, so I'm not sure what the thinking was behind them. D-pads would have worked sufficiently fine, but they went with joysticks anyway. They do have buttons as well, so if you do need to use menus and controls, it works flawlessly, and that's what I do. I use iRacing menu controls with the right hand joystick. As well as that, we have these encoders. Now these encoders are a bit different to what I've installed on my button box and what I see on a lot of other devices, in that these can be switched between encoders or buttons. Just a simple button in the software allows you to change that, so it's either set or position 1, 2, 3. That's kind of unique in sim racing wheels of this sort of price. Usually it's just an encoder with an up. So yeah, I haven't found an application for position based encoding. I'm sure I will as new simulations come out, but I'm very looking forward to that. And in terms of the shifters, I'll flip this bad boy around again. So we have mechanical magnetic shifters. Now I would say mechanical because it is all metal around there and the stop is the metal. You can hear it, it is quite loud. To be fair, it is a bit of a downside, but they do come with mute pads to kill the resonance. It doesn't dampen the sound very much, it just stops it from ringing out. As well as that, underneath there you've got little sliders on each side. You can set them for clutch, accelerator, brake, look, whatever you want to do, it will work with these. They just work as basic sliders in your software. But that's not all. You have the option of combining the axis that these sit on, and you can also use them as buttons, which I found pretty cool. It's not often you can choose a slider to be a button. In MOZA, it works. So as well as that, all these buttons around the edge of your thumb grips and this centerline strip here, they're all lit by RGB LEDs. Now this means that they do light up in different colours, and you get to choose what colours are shown. With the RPM indicator, you get to choose when those colours are shown as well. So you can choose for what percentage of the RPM range each individual LED lights up and what colour that will be. For the buttons, I think you've got a choice of, is it 7 or 8 different colours? I have mine in a multitude. So yeah, there is a lot of functionality in this wheel. Now, onto the actual build quality, because this is one of the things that I have struggled with on low-end wheels, is build quality. There's always something that puts you off. There's always something that makes it feel like a toy. With the MOZA and with a lot of racing, just to confirm my concept, my thoughts, my whatever you want to call them. Yeah, this doesn't feel like a toy. This feels like a real wheel. In fact, I went into a set of Corsa Competizione at the weekend, did a lot of racing, and my brain was fooled into thinking that I was holding the real wheel of the McLaren that I was racing. Bit daft, I know, but that is what we call immersion. It's all about tricking the brain into thinking that you're actually doing what it looks like you're doing. And this works very, very well. The diameter, the ergonomics, the way it feels, it's all good stuff, people. It is really good for immersion, and it is really good for endurance racing as well. Like I mentioned, the smaller wheels do provide pain if you're not into your yoga, if you're not constantly stretching. With this, I found I don't need to. I can race all night comfortably, and I don't have a single problem. Now, with that said, you do have a lot of plastic on here covering all of the internals, all of the cables, all of that sort of stuff. There's a lot of plastic on the front as well, which, I'll be honest, I'm going to hold my hands up here. I would have liked to see less plastic, but it doesn't take away from the wheel in any way, shape or form. Weight wise, it's 1.5 kilograms, so it is quite a weighty wheel, but it's not as weighty as the 360mm Momo wheel that I've got behind me. That's from my MX-5, I think that's 1.6 kilograms, so it is lighter than a real road wheel, but it is still quite weighty. If it slaps you on the back of the hand, you know about it. As well as that, you will notice that there are different labels on all of these buttons. You don't have to stick with those. MOZA do provide a sticker kit, so you can place labels around the buttons to pick exactly what function you would like them to be, but they don't provide different keycaps, which I would have liked to see, because the keycaps do shine through with their 2-digit notation at the top or their single digit elsewhere. You can't change the keycaps, unfortunately. You can't change the way they glow, the letters they glow through, I apologise, but it doesn't really detract from anything else. And to be honest, I found them fairly straightforward to set up, and they're in the positions that I would normally set them up in anyway, so it's not something I'm going to complain about. So, concluding this whole review, do I think it's worth looking at the MOZA GS GT? Well, if you've got an R9, R16, R21, a different branded steering base that has an NRG quick release adapter, absolutely go for it. If you've got the R5, I think this might be a bit heavy for that sort of wheel. When I say heavy, I mean this wheel has a lot of inertia that you need to overcome for rapid force feedback. If that's not your thing, you're not going to be worried too much, but I have my wheel speed set very, very high, very, very fast, and those forces get transmitted very, very quickly because it doesn't weigh that much compared to what the R9 can output. With the R5, it might be a little bit different, and this might be just above that tolerance limit for the wheel speed to spin up as fast as it can. That said, it is a fantastic wheel. It is absolutely beautiful, and I'm glad I bought it. Would I buy it again? Yeah, I think I would. So, with that out of the way, thank you for joining me on this YouTube video. Now, if you haven't already clicked that subscribe, please go down and do it. Thank you to everybody who has. Leave me a comment and tell me what you think about the video, what you think about this wheel, if you've got one, what you think about it, and if you've got one of the other MOZA wheels and what you think about that, because you never know, that could be my next purchase. Other than that, I do this thing called Twitch. If you're into live content, if you're into dramatic scenes of carnage and dismay, there's a lot of that happens every Thursday and Saturday night UK time, 7 till about 9 or 10ish. I get onto stream and do a lot of iRacing and crashing and spinning and you name it. I'm all about that. So come join me in the chat. I'll leave a link down on the description below, and we'll leave a link to this as well, so if you want to do an affiliate buy you can, and that'll help me out as well. So thank you so much guys. We will see you in the next one.